expected to pay premium prices in Las Vegas on almost everything we bought. But when we actually compared the prices with Southern California, we found a big surprise.
Before we start, one important note. This is not intended to be a scientific cost of living study. We're just comparing prices for things we actually purchased during our trip with comparable items and accommodations in Southern California. Your Vegas vacation could look very different depending on where you stay, where you shop, when you visit, and what you choose to do. So think of this as a real-world snapshot of our experience. It's not a claim that Las Vegas is always cheaper or more expensive than Southern California. With that said, let's see what happened during our Las Vegas versus Southern California price comparison. All right, pulling into Target, and recently, a couple days before making this trip out here, I was reading a news story about somebody who came to stay somewhere in Las Vegas, and the headline with their stay was that they got charged $27 for a bottle of water. So while we're in Vegas, I'm going to pay attention to a whole bunch of items. How much do they cost in Las Vegas? Then we're going to compare those prices to how much they cost back home in Southern California. We're going to see what's cheaper, what's more expensive, share that information with you so you know. And we're starting with a visit to Target to get groceries for the few days we're going to be here. All right, first item, bananas, 29 cents each. That actually doesn't seem too bad. I bet that's pretty close to what we pay at home. All right, next up we have milk at $2.19. And I'm always trying to get the ones that, at least where they say on the label that the farmers pledge not to use the chemicals in the feed. So we got 2% for something, coffee, whatever. All right, we are not soda drinkers, but for comparison, a 12-pack of Diet Coke is $8.89. What we do drink is the LaCroix, and these are $4.39. I'm not sure if I should get one 8-pack or two, because it is hot and it's a good one to have in the heat.
Oh, so this is Waterloo. I like it better now than LaCroix. But so far, and I only know this because I checked before we left, it's 2 for $9 here in Vegas. It's also 2 for $9 in Southern California. So that's their Target discount for the week.
All right, I got talked into putting my LaCroix back, and we are going to try the Waterloo this week. My daughter said she likes it better, so I'm going to give it a go. All right, it's going to be good to have some extra drinking water. I usually get Crystal Geyser. They don't have that here, but they do have a brand, Good and Gather, and it's $1.39 for a gallon. All right, Julie did request beer. She likes her IPAs, so I'm not going to find this in our hometown, but they have Hop Vegas, so we're going to get that for her. It's a West Coast IPA at $14.99 for 4. And I am going to go for the Guinness draft, and that's either going to be $14.99 or $13.99 for 8. Depending on how the discount works. So we're gonna do bread and peanut butter. So what's a peanut butter that we should get?
What do you want?
Well, I don't want...
Like this, like the stirry one?
Yeah, something that's like more natural.
Creamy, crunchy.
All right, so lunch we're gonna be doing PJ sandwiches, so...
This one's, I mean, I've had this brand.
Oh, Laura Scudder?
Yeah.
How much is that?
It's $5.49. But that's probably it.
All right, so we're gonna go with Laura Scudder old-fashioned peanut butter. And this guy is $5.49 for 16 ounces. And then I need a loaf of bread. Choices, choices, choices. All right, they say fiber is good for you. We're gonna go with the Ora Wheat Fiber Power at $5.99. So this is crazy. So I only buy a loaf of bread maybe once or twice a year on occasions like this. We bake our own bread. I bake our own bread, sourdough. We make like artisan loaves at the house. So easy to make. And with the ingredients, it's probably like $2 a loaf, something crazy. We also have a mill at the house, so I mill my own wheat berries and rye berries. That's the way to go. When we travel and we're buying loaves like this, it's just a letdown. And I don't see anything here that's remotely close to a home style loaf of bread. So we're gonna go with what they got. Or as we say, go with the flow. All right, we need some breakfast, so we're gonna go with the Quaker instant oatmeal because we can make these at the hotel room. There's bowls in the kitchen, and this is $2.99 for 8. So that's pretty good. I think we mentioned last year when we stayed at the same place, the price of the oatmeal at the Starbucks, I think made our head spin a little bit. So probably for what one of those cost, we probably could buy 2 of these boxes here at least. And I'm being tempted by Pop-Tarts. They say Vegas is the land of temptation. This is tempting me. If I get it, it's $2.89 for 8. I do like my Pop-Tarts, and I only ever do them on vacations. All right, I said no. I just said no to temptation, so no Pop-Tarts, but we are gonna get yogurts. How's that for a substitute? That's probably a better choice, huh? So where is the yogurt? All right, so the yogurts, the Chobani's, it's $4.49 for 4 5.3 ounce cups. So we're gonna get 2 of these. All right, and then checking my app to see if there's anything that Julie added on here. I think we're good. If you are not using the Bring app, I highly recommend it. We've been using this now for several years. It's this great app where you just go on it, you put what you need. You can link your accounts, so in a household, everybody can put on what they want, and then when I'm at the store, I just bring up the app, and as I'm getting things, I just click things off as I get them, and then they go away. It has made shopping for groceries substantially less stressful, and then the routine at the house is as soon as we're done with something, we run out of something, it goes on the app, and so that's always up to date. And again, highly recommend the Bring app on smartphone devices. All right, so lastly for dinners, we're gonna do a combo of things. We're gonna start with the Lean Cuisine ricotta, cheese, and spinach ravioli. We have a microwave in the room. That's $3.49 a pop. And then I think I'm gonna try vegetable pad thai. That's $5.09. There's numerous options of these Amy's meals. So we are vegetarian, pescatarians actually, but they're all $6.29. So we're gonna grab 2 of these. I think that's gonna do it as I'm scanning the ice cream. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Now I've got to find my daughter who's doing the same shopping for her and her 2 daughters, and then we will get out of here. And we'll see for roughly 5 days what it's gonna cost to feed us on our own, eating primarily, but not exclusively, in the hotel room. All right, so doing the meals at the hotel for 5 days worth of food, it's gonna be $114, which comes out to $22 a day for the 2 of us, or $11 a day per person. And that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner combined. That works. All right, so for this opening round price comparison, Southern California versus Las Vegas, I'm gonna say, and I haven't done the comparison yet back home, but just the eyeball test, I'm gonna say it feels like it's almost identical. So No $27 bottle of water at Target. But we're here for a few more days. We're going to keep our eyes open and we'll keep adding to the list. We'll see what things cost here in Vegas versus back home. All right, and my daughter pointed out something that they have here in Vegas that we don't have back home anymore: plastic bags. That's a big no-no in Southern California, in all of California.
Here's a few more items that were more expensive in Las Vegas. Altoids, $5 in Vegas versus $3.69 back home. At Starbucks, a Grandized coffee was 50 cents less back home. Fancy a Grand Chai Latte? We can save $1.10 in Southern California. And the spinach feta egg white wrap? Well, that was $2.25 more in Las Vegas. Was Coffee Bean any better? Nope. A brewed coffee goes for $1.35 less back at home. In our last video, we visited one of the largest In-N-Outs in the world. Their prices are also larger compared to Southern California. A double-double was 65 cents more in Las Vegas, while the double-double fries and medium drink combo was $1.40 more in Vegas. On a hot day, we stopped for ice cream. A scoop cost us $7.99 in Las Vegas versus $6.25 at our local Baskin & Robbins. We did find a few notable winners, however, in Las Vegas. Gas. During our visit, it was 90 cents a gallon cheaper in Las Vegas than in Southern California. And driving into the outskirts of the city, the price gap got even larger. And the biggest savings came with the hotel. Hotels are difficult to price apples to apples, but we did find a similar room in Los Angeles at the JW Marriott that ran $487 a night compared to a similarly spec'd suite at the Hotel Alara, for which we found at $167, which also had a kitchenette added.
Travel prices aren't fixed, of course. Hotel rates and gasoline prices in particular can change substantially depending on when you travel. So rather than trying to calculate one universal cost for a Las Vegas vacation, we decided to look at something simpler. What do the things we actually bought cost compared with what we paid for similar things in Southern California? So, is Las Vegas really more expensive than Southern California? Based on the things we purchased during this trip, the answer wasn't as clear-cut as we expected. For many of the everyday items we compared, the prices were actually pretty similar. And when we got to lodging, our comparable Southern California hotel was noticeably more expensive than what we paid in Las Vegas.
Yep. Of course, this is just one snapshot. Prices change, hotel rates can vary dramatically depending on the dates, and your vacation spending may look completely different from ours. But that's probably our biggest takeaway from this experiment. Las Vegas can be an expensive place to visit, but it doesn't mean that everything here automatically costs more. Sometimes it's worth looking past the reputation, checking the actual numbers, and seeing where your travel dollars are really going.
If you visited Las Vegas recently, we'd love to know what surprised you the most about the prices. Were things more expensive than you expected or less? Thanks for traveling along with us. If you made it this far, take a moment to subscribe and see our next adventure on the places where we go. Bye.